Good morning, everyone. We were doing 12th class, chapter 4, part 3, ratio analysis. And till now, we have done current ratio and liquid ratio. So, in liquid ratio, yesterday I had given you 2-3 questions. So, today, first, we will be discussing that questions and we'll be doing some more questions for practice. Liquid ratio. Then we will be doing one another ratio. Okay, students. So 3 questions I had given you. So first I am discussing those questions. So the question one was current liabilities of a company are 3,50,000. Current ratio is 3:1 and acid test ratio. Acid test ratio is the alternate name of quick ratio. Liquid ratio, quick ratio and acid test ratio all are same. 1.75:1. Calculate the value of current assets, liquid assets and inventories. We have solved many questions of such type in previous class. So I think you must have done. And remember that this is the assignment of this chapter and daily basis I'll be giving you 3-4 questions. So on loose sheets you have to do. And at the end of the chapter you have to submit all the questions to me on my email ID, which is already given to you. So the answer of first question is what was asked in the first question: current assets, liquid assets and inventories. So students, you can match your answer. Liquid assets 6,12,500. Just tell me whether it is correct or not. Inventory 4,37,500. Just tell me whether it is correct or not. Yes, Anmol, Kashish, you, Anushka Bansal, and many more students are writing, then it's correct. Okay, so it means no doubt in this question. Now I'm going for the another question. In another second question, current assets of a company are 3,60,000. Current ratio is 2.5:4. It means current assets are 2.4 times than the current liabilities. And asset test ratio is 1.3:1. Calculate the value of current liabilities, liquid assets and the inventories. And here is the answer. Current liabilities, you can see the calculation. I'm giving you just 1 minute. You can match your answer with the solution. So the current liability is 1,50,000. Asset test ratio, inventory 1,65,000 and liquid assets 1,95,000. You can do in any way, whichever you want, because in ratio analysis for doing one question there may be different methods. Only thing you have to note is you should use the correct formulas in correct manner and answer should be correct. Okay, students? So answer is correct, I think. Shall I go for the next question? Okay. So the third question was again of the similar type, and here is the solution of the third question. You can see the solution. Current ratio of the company which was given in the question is 2.5 and the working capital ratio was also given. So the working capital, by using the working capital, we can find out the current assets, that is 50,000. Current assets in third part of the question is 50,000. 50,000. Then current liabilities. Current liabilities, again you have to use the working capital formula. Working capital is equal to current assets minus current liability. So the current liabilities are 20,000 You can match your answer. I am waiting for you. Current liabilities are 20,000. Then put the values in the liquid ratio. Put the values in the liquid ratio. And the liquid ratio is current assets minus liquid assets. Liquid assets are current assets minus inventory. Current assets minus inventory. So the asset test ratio is 1.2:1. Yes. Please tell me, is your answer correct so that I can go for the next questions? Okay, students. All of you are giving me that your answer is correct. This chapter is not difficult, students. The only thing is this: you need to do the practice. If you people are not doing practice, then it will be difficult for you. If you are doing practice on daily basis, then there will be no problem. Easily you can do. Okay. So the next question, tell me please. Yes, in this chapter, same type of questions will be there. Till now, we have done only two ratios. Earlier in the beginning of the chapter, I told you that here in this chapter, four types of ratios are there. Which four types I told you? First was the liquidity ratio. Second, solvency ratio. Third, profitability ratio. Fourth, turnover ratio. So till now, we have done only one category, that is the liquidity ratio. Under liquidity ratio, we have done two ratios. Current ratio, the formula was current asset upon current liabilities. Then liquid ratio, the formula is liquid assets upon current liabilities. And these two ratios can come in different manner, different ways. Similarly, in other categories also, there are some ratios. Like in the second category, which I'm going to introduce in today's class, is the solvency ratio. We have to do four ratios. Here we have done two ratios. There we have to do four ratios. So no journal, no ledger, no long calculations at all is required in this chapter. Just the formula you have to learn and then apply those formula according to your information. Okay, students. So I think this question also I had given yesterday in assignment. If yes, you can match your answer. Have I given this question in yesterday assignment? Yes. Okay. Very good, Anmol. You have given me correct answer. Very good. And students, again, I am telling you, it will be easy for you to do this chapter if you are doing at least 3-4 questions of the same time, the same type. Otherwise, if at the end you want to do hold the question, hold the formula at once, then it will be definitely very difficult for you. So do it on daily basis. Yes, very good. Varun Bhatia, Thira Tandon, all are giving me correct answer because this chapter is very easy. So in current ratio, you can match your answer. Yes, it may be given in the question that you have to also comment on the liquidity position of the company. So comment means whether the company is in satisfactory situation or not. As you all know that the ideal ratio for liquid ratio is 1:1 and company is at 1.05. It means almost near to the ideal ratio. So what we can write in comment that the short-term financial position of the enterprise is satisfactory because it is almost near to the standard ratio, which is a little above than the ideal ratio of 1:1. If it is 2:1, 3:1, then it will not be good for a company. Why? Because it is around 2-3 times more than the standard ratio. It means firm is maintaining excess cash balance or the excess liquid assets. Those assets can be invested somewhere else and firm can get returns on that. So it means the firm is having idle funds. So to uh, curb this problem, it is required to maintain the standard ratio only. Okay, students. So now I'm giving you one more question. Solve it fast. So okay, I think we have done the enough of the practice of current ratio and liquid ratio. In previous class also we have done many liquid ratios. So I'm going to start with today's topic, that is the solvency ratios. Second category. So what is the difference in between liquidity ratio and solvency ratio? First of all, I'm going to explain this. Listen carefully. So in balance sheet, you have seen that in liability, equity and liability side, three heads are there. Three major heads are there. Shareholder fund, non-current liability, current liability. All three are the liabilities, but shareholder will be paid at the end. At the end means when all the third parties are paid out. So first we have talked about liquidity ratio. That was all about the short-term financial commitments of the business, whether the firm or the company is able to meet its current liability on time or not. So now current liability is over. So now the second important head is the non-current liability. So in solvency ratios, we will be talking about the non-current liability, long-term solvency position, whether the business is able to pay off its long-term liabilities on time or not. It will be depicted by calculating the solvency ratio. Suppose you have gone to a bank for taking a long-term loan, 15 years loan. So before granting that loan, the bank will be definitely doing the ratio analysis of your financial past year's financial statement, because it is a technique of doing financial statement analysis. So bank must be doing the analysis of your financial statement before granting the loan to check the your solvency position. Solvency position means whether the business will be able to pay its loan back or not. Your profitability, because from profits the business will be able to pay interest on time or the installments on time. So each and every ratio, most of the ratios will be calculated by the bank to grant. Suppose you went to a creditor and creditor don't know you, the person seller don't know you, so you are demanding for a credit purchase from him. So before granting your credit purchase, which ratio he will be calculating? Liquidity or solvency? Tell me. Liquidity or solvency ratios? Which ratio a creditor will be calculating? Liquidity ratio or solvency ratio? You can give me answer in chat. If you want to buy goods on credit from a business, so which ratio he will be calculating? Liquidity or solvency? Yes, Deepak Sharma, you are correct. Liquidity ratio. Why? Because the creditors has to take back their money from the business in a short period, maximum 3 months period credit is allowed to the debtors. So any person who has to take back his money back from the business within a short period, they will be calculating liquidity ratio. They must be interested in the liquidity position of the business. And the bankers who have granted loan for a longer period, I told you earlier also that solvency ratios means long term debts and the shareholder funds, whether the business would be able to pay off its long term debts on time or not. So under this ratio, we will be calculating four ratios. Bifurcate the solvency ratios in four parts. Fast students. Bifurcate solvency ratios in four parts. Make a web diagram of solvency ratios and divide this solvency ratio in four parts. So four topics we have to do in this category. First part is write down debt to equity ratio or debt equity ratio. Debt to equity ratio or debt equity ratio. Second part, write down total assets to debt ratio. 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 Third, proprietary ratio. Proprietary ratio. Fourth, interest coverage ratio. First is the debt equity ratio. Second is total asset to debt ratio. Third is proprietary ratio. And the fourth one is interest coverage ratio. So these four ratios we have to do in this topic. So today we'll do only one topic, that is the debt equity ratio. Write down the formula. Debt equity ratio, this ratio express the relationship between the long term debt. I told you that debt means only the non-current liabilities. It means only the long-term debt. And total debt means non-current liability plus current liability. And here we are talking about only the debt, not the total debt. So debt means only the non-current liability. And I told you earlier, you can write what will be the part of the non-current liability or debt. Write down debt is equal to long-term borrowings plus long-term provisions. When we were doing balance sheet, I told you 4 subheads for non-current liabilities: long-term borrowing, deferred tax liabilities, third was the other non-current liabilities, fourth was the long-term provisions. And deferred tax liability and other non-current liability will not be taken into consideration for ratio chapter. They will be used only in the chapter 1 for the major heads and subheads. So here we have to use only 2 subheads for calculating debt. Which 2 subheads? Long-term borrowings and long-term provisions. Long-term borrowing means debentures, mortgage loan, public deposits, loan from bank, loan from financial institutions. These are the examples of long-term borrowing. And long-term provision, provision for gratuity, provision for warranty, provision for leave encashment, which we have already studied in chapter 1. Again, I have repeated long-term provision, provision for warranty, provision for encashment of earned leave, provision for retirement benefits of employees, just like PF, Provident Fund, and provision for gratuity. 4 examples I told you there. And long-term debts, long-term borrowing means debentures, loan, any loan, mortgage loan, secured loan, unsecured loan taken from bank or any private financial institutions, and public deposits. So the ratio formula you can write, debt equity ratio is equal to debt upon equity. That I have already explained. Debt means only the non-current liabilities, not the current liability. Equity means shareholder funds. Equity means shareholder funds. And in balance sheet, please write down on the formulas, otherwise there will be difficulty. Shareholder funds, we did 3 subheads in chapter 1. 3 subheads in chapter 1. Share capital, reserve and surplus. Anyone can tell me the third one? Anyone? Third one. Which was the third one? Share capital, reserve and surplus. Third one. Try to recall. I told you that this is a non-evaluative topic. Yes, yes, very good. Anmol, I was expecting the answer from Anmol and Harshita, and they have given me answer. Very good. Yes. Money received against share warrants. Very good, Vaibhav Sharma. You have also given me correct answer. Yes, Thira, you have also given me. Some students are really gems in my class, and they are always ready in every answer. Very good students. Money received against share warrants. 3 subheads were there in equity. Which 3 subheads? Share capital, reserve and surplus, and money received against share warrants. And there also I told you that money received against share warrants will not be considered for numerical chapters. It is just a theoretical topic. So shareholder fund here means only the 2 heads: share capital plus reserve and surplus. So all these things will be given in the question. You have to just add them, and you have to find out the 2 terms: long-term borrowings or non-current liability or shareholder fund. Then you have to put the values in the formula and find out the answer. And capital and reserve, share capital means equity share capital as well as preference share capital. And reserve and surplus means capital reserve, securities premium reserve, general reserve, and all the reserves which we did there. Share option outstanding, DRR, debenture redemption reserve, capital CRR, capital redemption reserve, all the other debit surplus, that is the balance in statement of P&L account. And if surplus balance is given negative, it means that is not profit, that is loss. So if negative balance is given, then it will be subtract from the shareholders fund. Okay. So why this ratio is calculated? So formula, debt upon equity. Debt means only the non-current liability, long-term borrowing plus long-term provision. Equity means again 2 subheads: share capital and reserve and surplus. So why we are calculating this this ratio? So what is the, yes, revaluation reserve bhi hoga, Varun Bhatia. All the reserves which we have earlier written under reserve and surplus, but that is beyond your syllabus. Revaluation reserve will be never coming to the numerical, as it is non-evaluative from the numerical point of view. Okay. So this ratio is calculated to assess the ability of the firm. This is the objective, can come in one marker question. Ability of the firm to meet its long-term liabilities, whether the firm is able to meet its liability on time or not. And what is the which type of liability? Non-current liability. So if the debt equity ratio is more, then it is show a greater, rather risky financial position. From the long term point of view, it indicates that more and more funds invested in the business are provided by long term lenders. Yes, the ideal ratio for this is 2 is to 1. 2 is to 1. Okay, students. So 2 is to 1 means debt can be 2 times than the equity. If this ratio is higher, suppose it is 4 is to 1. So it means this is not a good position for lenders. Lenders will be not ready to lend more money to the business. Already the ratio is high. So lower ratio is good from the point of view of lenders, not the higher ratio. If you have went to a bank for taking a loan and bank has analyzed your financial position and your debt equity ratio is 4 is to 1, the bank may deny to grant you loan because his position will be unsafe. Giving loan to your business will be comparatively risky because already your ratio is 4 is to 1. 4 is to 1 means borrowed funds are 4 times than the owned funds. Means whatever the assets are purchased by the business, maximum of the assets are purchased by taking loans. So in future, if firm is going to wind up, then the lenders may not get their money back if their loans are unsecured loans. So am I clear? So now the questions. So these type of questions will come in exam. Calculate debt equity ratio fast. I'm giving you just 2 minutes. Share capital. Some items may be of no use. So you have to leave those items. And if some items are not given, then again you can use the magical balance sheet format which I had given you. That balance sheet you can use in any category of the ratio to know the especially the 3 categories except the profitability ratios to know the hidden figure. So debt equity ratio, first of all write down the formula which is D upon E, D for debt, E for equity. Debt means only the non-current liabilities. Now find out debt. For debt you have to add 2 things, long-term borrowings and long-term provisions. So here long-term borrowings are already given, long-term provisions are already given. So I told you earlier also, if the whole concept is already given, then no need to consider the parts. Here long-term borrowings are given, long-term provisions are given. You have to just add it. Then share capital is also given and reserve and surplus is also given. To find out the equity, you have to add it. Share capital is given and reserve and surplus is given. Have you done? I'm giving you 1 minute. Okay, first write down the formula which is this, debt upon equity. Debt upon equity and debt here is long-term borrowings 120 plus long-term provisions 50. So debt is 1,70,000. Debt is 1,70,000. Now come to equity. For equity, 2 things are required, share capital and reserve and surplus. Share capital, shareholder fund, share capital is given plus reserve and surplus, which is also given. 250 plus 110, 360. Now put the values in the formula. 170 upon 360. So the answer is 0.47 is to 1. Yes, Weber, 0.4 is to 1. And every time, very good. Every time I told you that you have to find out the answer up to 2 decimal. Here we are not having much time. So just find the answer up to 1 decimal place only. Okay. And in exams, you can find out the answer up to 2 decimal place. Okay, students, and I told you earlier that calculating the figures, you can use the different formulas. So in the solution, you can see that the other aspect or other alternate method is also given. So the manner will be decided by you, that in which manner you want to do the question. Okay, students, so the ratio is 0.47 is to 1. Now, can you analyze this position of the business organization, whether the lenders will be ready to give the business loan or not, from lenders' point of view? Whether the lenders will be ready from lenders' point of view, they are safe or unsafe? Just tell me, lenders are safe in with this ratio or unsafe? What I told you. Yes, very good. Mitali, you are giving me incorrect answer. Incorrect answer. Varun, Harshita. Yes, yes, Khushi, very good. Lenders are safe. Why? I am explaining. Listen carefully again. I told you that the standard ratio is 2 is to 1. 2 is to 1 means debts can be 2 times of the equity. So if this ratio is 2 is to 1, and the ratio, suppose the company is having 4 is to 1, it means debts are 4 times then the equity. Suppose the company is going in liquidation or company is winding up. So in that case, if the whole of the assets will be sold off, then the company would not be able to pay off the liabilities, because the 4 times liabilities are there, non-current liabilities are there. So if the higher ratio is there, then from lender's point of view, not safe, and the lower ratio is more safe from the lender's point of view, and the lenders will be ready to grant loans to that business. It means debt is only 0.47 times of equity. It means equity is more than debt. So their funds are safe in that company. So lenders are safe. Next question. Do it fast again. Debt equity ratio. I am reading the question. Till then you can start doing. Equity share capital, preference share capital, general reserve, securities premium reserve 40,000, profit and loss balance 70. If the balance is until or unless the debit balance is written along with the profit and loss, or the balance is given in negative form, you will assume it as a profit. So profit and loss is positive, that is the 70,000. If this figure is written in bracket, it means it's a negative balance. 10% debentures, 4,50,000, it's a part of non-current liability. The loan from bank, time period is not mentioned along with this loan. And what I told you, all the loans until the time period is mentioned will be considered non-current liabilities. So this loan is also non-current liability, 3,50,000. Current liabilities are of no use here because we are finding out debt equity ratio. So there will be no use of current liabilities. So now again we have to write the formula, which is debt upon equity. So we have to find out the debt, and debt means, okay, tell me how many parts of debts are given. 2, 3. Tell me in number. How many sub parts of debt are given here? 2 or 3 or 4? I have given you 3 choices. 2, 3, 4. Yes, very good, Anushka. It's 2. Very good, Harshita. Which 2? 10% debentures. Okay, keep on doing your solution. 10% debentures, which is 4,50,000, in loan from bank, which is 350. These two are the part of debt. So the total debt here, not only the total, we need not to find out the total, because total debt means current plus non-current. We are here considering about the non-current liabilities or the debt. So the debt here is 10% debentures plus loan from bank, 450 plus 350, which is equal to 8 lakh. It means debt is 8 lakh. Now talk about the equity. First variable of the formula we have found. Equity. In equity, shareholder fund plus reserve and surplus. So total 5 items are given for equity. Which 5? Equity share capital, preference share capital, general reserve, SPR, profit and loss. We will be adding all these 5. So this is the answer. Yes, Khushi, you have given me correct answer. Very good. So long-term debts 8 lakh, shareholder funds 640. Some more students have given me answer, but I think they have done some calculation mistake. So just check your calculations, and this mistake may be due to you are doing fastly as we are on net. So that's why I'm not giving you much time to solve the question. But when you will be doing the calculations in proper manner, then it will be better for you. So the shareholder funds are equal to 6,40,000. Now 8 lakh upon 640, which is equal to 1.25:1. So okay, one last question. This is the last question. Take your time and do it. Till then I am reading the question. Again, the debt equity ratio you have to calculate. Share capital is given 30 lakh. SPR 2 lakh. SPR 2 lakh. Reserve and surplus 10 lakh. Loan from Industrial Finance Corporation at the rate of 8%. Time period is not mentioned, so we will be considering it long-term borrowing. 9% bonds. Bonds is also the part of non-current liabilities, 25 lakh. Long-term provisions, 3 lakh. Short-term provisions, 1 lakh. Short-term borrowings, 4 lakh. Trade payables, 5 lakh. Last 3 items, short-term provision, short-term borrowings and trade payables are of no use.